Hi everyone. So we'll be going through the new feature which is payment dashboard. This feature on Seller First will help you figure out every visibility that you need about your payments. When have you got what part of the payment? What is the bank UTR number? What is the invoice number against which this was paid? What are the deductions that were done on this? Deductions in terms of TCS, TDS, commission, when was the settlement date. So all of these things you can find on this. When you click here, you have a payment tabs, and when you come here, you can find all the details with respect to the payments that Nurture makes to you. So I'll go through the feature in detail. So if you come to the settlement, there are two tabs that we show you. There are two views. One is settlement view, wherein you will see all the your seller, your enterprise will be automatically selected default against your name, your company's name, and all the payments that you have received so far, we will be storing it and showing it to here. So for example, in this case, you see that in this particular time period, so you can select any time range here. By default, the current week is selected, and you will get to see what are the payments that have been made in this time period and what was the total payable, what were the deductions that were done on this, and finally what was the payment that was settled to you. So as there is just one transaction, you see that these top numbers are same as this because there's only one settlement done. The UTR number will be given to you in this, and what is the payment date and what was the amount as part of this UTR that was settled. So the deductions, if you can also click on these tooltips here if you want to know more about any of these columns. So total payable, for example, for all settlements made in the selected time period, this amount is the total payable including deductions. Then deductions is TCS, TDS, commission, and GST on commission that we would take on this particular payment. And then finally, you have the payment settled, which is total payable minus deductions. You can also use this to search by the UTR number. And we also have an option to download the settlement report. You can select any date range here. Maximum you can select is of any 31 days time period. So let's say if I select for December, and I can click on download. When I click on download, I will I'll get this sort of a report which has all the um, settlements that were done in December month because I had selected the date as December. And as you can see, it shows me the payment date, the settlement type, whether it was complete or partial. Since we give payment, in many cases we might give you in splits, we will showcase it here so that you know whether complete payment for this particular order has been given as part of the settlement or only partial has been given, and the rest would probably have been given before or would have been or might be given after this settlement. You can find the invoice number, the UTR number, the order details, and if it's a payment or if it's a reversal, in case reversal will be mentioned here, then total payable, deductions, and finally the payment settled. So this is all the data that you can get here. Now coming on to, if you want to see the details as part of the UTR, what were the orders for which you have gotten this payment, you can click on this, and here you will see the orders which were paid as part of this settlement. In this particular scenario, there's only one order which was paid as part of this, so you can just see one. There could be a scenario where there are 4 5 orders for which we are settling it to you together. In that case, you will have a single UTR number corresponding to multiple orders here. So in this case, for this order, the complete payment has been settled to you, and this was the amount that was payable, the deductions and payment settled. And you can also find the summation of these columns here in case there are multiple orders as part of the settlement. You can click, again there are tooltips here in case if you would like to know more about what all of these columns mean, you can refer these. Now if you want to see as part of this order, what were the products that were ordered, what was the invoice value, etc., you can click on the order number, and here you can see the details of the transaction. So you will have the transaction amount payable, what all were again the deductions and payment settled. And if you want to see the complete order details, you can click here and you will see the complete order details. So you have the base value. In case if you have given any discount to the retailer, that will be mentioned here. Total value is base minus discount. Then the GST amount which is applicable on this, and TDS on commission, we don't charge front end from you, so this will be zero in all the cases. Then you have your total amount payable, which will be a summation of total value and GST. This is the amount we have received from the customer, and this is the amount on which we will make payment to you. On top of this, there are deductions, which is commission, the fees that we take, and the GST on commission. And TDS, TCS on your behalf, we file to the government. We will mail you the certificates on a quarterly basis for TDS, TCS, so you can claim the same in your tax filing. Post these, after the total amount payable minus the deduction will give you the net amount payable, and we will tell you what has been the payment which has been settled, and in case there's any balance to be settled, that will be mentioned here. In this scenario, there was just one order and one payment method that the retailer has paid to us, hence you can only see one transaction. I will show you a order which had multiple transactions done. It will make that more clear. So for the same, this particular tab I hope is clear. I'll now come to the transaction tab, wherein I'll also discuss the use case that I just mentioned. So for example, let's take this particular order number. So you can search by the order number. You can also search by the invoice number over here. You have all the total summation of all the transactions that customers have done through our platform with you. Whether the order is invoiced, even those will come up here. If the order has been dispatched, those will also come, and if for that order the payment is settled, that will also come. So this order, for example, if you see, it has just been invoiced, but it has not been dispatched, and hence there's no payment that is made against it, but you can still see it, so that you are aware about what stage it is in and when you can probably expect the payment to happen. So if I search for any particular invoice number, you will see for this invoice number, we have broken down the payment into two parts, hence you see two rows here. As part of one transaction, we are paying you this, and as part of the second transaction, we are paying you this much. So I'll click on any one of the view summary, wherein you will be able to see more details. So for example, for that particular transaction of this order, this is the breakup. UTR number is blank since this has not been settled yet. Order is still in the invoice state. And now if you want to see the other associated transactions with this, you will see the second row that I was showing you there on the other screen, the first screen, also coming up here. So this will give you a consolidated view of as to for this order, all the multiple transactions that we have either settled or yet to be settled, all of those will come up here. In this scenario, both of this has balance to be settled, so we are showing that this balance is yet to be settled. And for this order also, the transaction amount is this much, but it has not been settled yet. If I click on the view summary of this, I'll see the breakup for this particular transaction, and also it tells balance to be settled. And if you see the transaction that we were seeing on the other screen also comes up here now, because it's part of this transaction, right? So all the transactions which are part of this order will come on the screen and you can see it. If you want to see the complete order details, you can click here and you will be able to see the complete order detail. As we have not settled any money for this, the net amount payable is coming this, and the payment settled is 0 so far, and you see the balance to be settled as this much. So this 4909 is broken up into two transactions, and we are showing it here. Hope this is clear to you. I'll go back on the transaction screen. So I can, for example, there are also filters. So I can search for only orders which are invoiced in this particular time period. I will make this as little more. So in this time period, it's not there. So let me select from November onwards. So here, the range of data again here, as you see, 31 days range transactions data can be shown. So you have to select any 31 days for a particular filter to apply. So let me see for November, it's not coming. So I'll just select all. Okay. So here you see for example, what we are also doing here is we are showing you the tentative dates of payment being settled. So if the order is dispatched, which is when we would start our payment cycle, we will start showing you tentative dates for payment being initiated from our side and also payment being settled. In this particular case, the initiation has happened, but payment is not settled here. Hence, you see this circle as gray, it is not tick marked, and we are showing you the tentative timeline so that you know that this is the expected timeline by which you will get the payment. Again, on this page also, if you want to know details about all the multiple tooltips that are there, you can click on them and you will get to know the same. Also, we have a feature in case you have any questions or you have any doubts, you have any questions on why this particular payment has not come yet, anything like with respect to this particular order transaction, you can click on this question mark, and we have this pre-populated details pop up with you. You can just copy this, click on copy, and you can on this particular mail you can just send us the copied text. Yeah, so you can just come here, you can type the subject and you can just copy this and send it to us. We will and then type your query here as to what complaints you have. So this gives you a quick way to send us any questions, queries that you may have with this particular order. Finally, on this particular transaction screen, you can also download a report, the transaction report. The same thing as settlement report, you can select a time range here. And if in case you want for any payment initiated, payment settled, or any of these filters specifically, you can select the same. I'm selecting all for now, and you can download this. So if you see this report, basically this has two groups of information. One is the order details and one is the transaction details. So for a single order, so if you see, these two orders are same and hence they are one below the other. We will ensure that all the orders which are same come next to each other in this particular report. So for this, if you see, the order details for both of these rows are same, right? The base value, seller discount, total value, all of these will same because the order is same. The difference is that we have broken the payment that we're giving you into two transactions. So you see the two transaction rows here which are different. They have different transaction amount payable. They have different deductions, and the transaction amount your receivable after we deduct payable minus all these deductions, this is the transaction amount receivable by you, and in this U column we store the transaction amount paid. So currently it has not been settled and hence there is no settlement date and there is no UTR number. For this particular order, if you see, there is just one row here, which means we have given you the entire payment in one shot. and this is the settlement date for it, and this is the UTR number for it. So we are showing you all the breakup here. What is the invoice number, what is the order status, what is the base value of the order, what is the discount if at all you're giving, and then the total values, base value minus seller discount, what is the GST amount on this, and finally what all are the deductions, and then what is the amount that was receivable by you. So this is the same data that you see on the screen. It is just that if you want a consolidated Excel sheet report, you can click on the transaction report and download the same data. This will help in your accounting and account reconciliation purposes. So yeah, this was on the payment dashboard. Thank you.